finance entities and private sector firms in our member countries. Our objective is to make our cutting-edge platform available to investors and leaders committed to partnering in promising investment opportunities.
So we want the businessmen and businesswomen all over the world, not only in our member countries, but also outside of member countries, to know more about IDB Group. So we think THIQAH can play this very important role and very essential role for enhancing the work of IDB Group.
The vision is to bring private sector closer to our member countries' development goals and make them work in tandem with the development effort of our member countries. Also, the vision is to create a platform for private sector entities to talk to each other and create partnerships, opportunities.
This is supported by our regular investment-related events across the globe, our innovative online portal for generating new projects and networking opportunities. THIQAH's focus is on promoting cross-border investments among IDB Group member countries, with the support of IDB Group's financial products and services.
As you may know, THIQAH means trust and confidence. Here in THIQAH, we are committed to build this trust and confidence between investors in our member countries.
THIQAH has successfully organized more than 60 international and regional conferences and arranged over 350 business meetings in IDB Group member countries.
Also, THIQAH has developed a highly interactive portal to facilitate the sharing of investment projects in member countries.
THIQAH members also enjoy the following benefits: exploring business opportunities in IDB Group member countries, access to information and potential partners and counterparts, promoting products and services. Members have full access to THIQAH's premium facilities. Our head office in Jeddah is a business hub, which includes meeting rooms for events, B2B meetings, video conferencing and webcasting, temporary executive offices and VIP lounge areas for business leaders.
Of course, IDB look forward to enhance its relationship with our member countries, to enhance the investment in our member countries, to enhance the trade and technical cooperation. So that's why THIQAH is very important in order to enable the businessmen and businesswomen in the coming years, inshallah, to know more about these developments and about the future program of the group.
To become a member, please visit THIQAH's portal. THIQAH, the window connecting the IDB Group to the private sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Thank you very much. So before we start for the first session, we would like to welcome all the gentlemen on stage to come back to your seats because we are about to proceed the first session. Well, we will start the first session by a presentation on Annual Development Effective Report, or ADER, which will be represented by Mr. Khalid Al-Aboudi, CEO and General Manager of ICD. Please welcome.
I'll try to be very brief on presenting our actually annual development effectiveness report. This is a report that we started to produce to show the results, the other side of our operation, the development impact of our operation. This is important for our stakeholders to take note of our activities in terms of what these activities are doing, supporting local economies. I'm not sure the presentation is given. Oh, all right. in this respect, I think we will have a very short presentation for you, but you're supposed to see also the report outside. As you know, being a private sector arm of the group, our business is just with the private sector, and we should also doing commercial viable projects. But these projects also need to produce results that benefits the member countries in terms of their development effort. So as institutions, our aim, as I said, to support economic development of our countries. And also, when we do this, we would like to see private sector working in a very competitive environment, not favoring entities or groups versus others. So that's what we're trying to do in our business. And also, we increasingly provide advisory services to governments and private sector to encourage cross-border investment. The report that will be produced today introduced the results of our activities in 1436, and these are the countries that we did operation in that year, which is last year. Last year we have 52 member countries. I'm glad to say that this year 2 additional countries joined. So we have Togo and Somalia now full member in ICD, so we have 54. But last year we had 52 member countries. We did 34 investments. The approval amount was $788 million, and disbursements were $290 million. Okay, thank you. So that's the report that we're introducing today. I hope that you have the chance to look at it, and we have also a small brochure. We'll give you a brief information about these results. The results of 1436 is that we support creating 50,000 jobs. We generate about 164 million increased government revenues out as a result of these activities. We also increase the domestic purchase of our clients by about 255 million. We raise net inflows of foreign currency by about 76 million. This is the net. We also provide energy sources for about 2 million households. We contribute about 11.8 million to community development initiative through the year. And also we supported about 1,180 small and medium enterprises and new business, and about 4,000 new businesses, including 1,700 housing projects and 61 agribusiness projects. Also, ICD has an asset management business. We have ICD Asset Management. We manage about 7 funds, and these funds by themselves also supported development by distributing about 539 million and made it available to private sector in our member countries. This will give you indication of the disbursement according to the products that we have. Line of finance, of course, meant to be supporting the SMEs through providing these funds to the financial intermediaries in our member countries. And asset management, term financing, and institutional equity, all these are, plus corporate equities. These are the products through which our operation worked last year. When it comes to region, you can see also we try to be diverse. In Europe and Central Asia, about 18% of our operation were there. MENA region, 27%. Africa, 22.5%, and we all our drive is also to increase that percentage going forward to Africa. We focus more and more on Africa. Asia is about 12.5%, and of course this is also a number that we feel is in the low side. Specifically Indonesia would like to do definitely more. And as a global initiative, about 19% of our operation serve more than just one country or one region. We're trying also to be more effective and in delivering our operation. We more and more sending people to the fields. We have about now 10% of our staff in regional and country gate offices. We're also trying to improve our processes, make it simpler and more efficient to help us to disperse faster. And we have seen that happening, alhamdulillah. In terms of the management of the risk, of course, as you know, ICD last year got the rating from 3 rating agencies, AA. That would help us actually to better manage even our own businesses as we go forward. So we have a number of clients who have completed this survey to provide these results. I would like to take this opportunity while I'm ending my speech here to thank all of them for the support that they provide to us to show to our stakeholders the result of our operation. Some of these numbers may seem to be low for the time being. As you know, ICD last year got approval from the General Assembly to increase double our capital from 1 billion, paid up capital from 1 billion to 2 billion. We have, alhamdulillah, good reception from shareholders for doubling this capital. The capital payment will start to come beginning of 2017. Hopefully, that within 2 to 3 years, our portfolio will be tripled as we are also approaching the market. For example, this year we have mobilized from the market around $900 million, and this number will, of course, go, inshallah, higher, with the capital increase being implemented over the next 4 years. So with that, I would like to thank all of you for your support for ICD activities. And as promised, I think we are there, not to make money for IDB, or the member countries. We're there to make a difference in the lives of the people of our member countries. So thank you so much, and hopefully, inshallah, you will be getting, inshallah, a copy of this report. You'll be, aware of the details of the development effectiveness report of 1436. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid Al-Abudi. You are very welcome back to your seat. And now we will continue to another presentation by Mr. Ahmed bin Abdul Khalid, Regional Head Asia ICD, on ICD's products and services. Mr. Ahmed bin Abdul Khalid, you are very welcome to on stage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Selamat pagi kepada ibu-ibu, bapa-bapa sekalian.
A very good morning to distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Be here to the organizers. And also my presentation will be in 2 parts. One of it will be, I'm going to talk a bit about ICD product and services, what we do, who we are, including the group. And the other part, we're going to show you a video about our projects. This will give you more background and understanding on the way we do things. As you know, ICD is part of the IDB group. This is the largest Islamic finance multilateral in the world. You have listened to all our entities, CEOs earlier, and another of our entities is IRTI, our Research and Training Institute. This is our strategy for ICD, which is in line with the overall IDB group. Our mandate is to support the IDB group, and mostly to encourage, like what my CEO has mentioned earlier, is to encourage cross-border investments, promote private sector development is very important, and also to provide and promote Islamic finance services in most of our member countries. The rest are developmental focus. When we speak to our clients, usually our conversations start with development in mind. And how we want to achieve this, we have 2020 targets, which is 4 years from now. And these are very, very important for us. My CEO just mentioned earlier in his speech, there's 1 billion people who are in poverty. Yesterday, during the workshop with OJK, they were also mentioning about the unbanked and the farmers that doesn't have access. Not to have access, but doesn't have opportunities also. So one of our target is we want to facilitate the access to finance, not only to income, but also to the unbanked. businesses and individuals. Also, we want to develop how we want to do it. We develop 50 financial institutions. This is our target, either a leasing company, mortgage finance company, Islamic banks. We also want to improve the overall business environment in 10 member countries. This will be done. This is being done through our advisory services. Sister Nida is our head here. And also we want to mobilize 70% of our investments from the market. Right now that's very low because we're using our capital, but from last year we started to go to the market to raise some funding. Again, this is our IDB family support. We have gone through this, so I'm not going to mention. But just note, there are 56 member countries. ICD, we have 54. Indonesia is a member. So Indonesia is the shareholder for us. You own it directly and also indirectly through IDB. This is our rating. We are AA rated by 3 major rating agencies for the past 2 years, for the last year and the year before that. These are our 3 main business lines. We have direct investment, we have FI, financial institution, and also advisory. Let me briefly mention about direct investment. Basically, we provide financing on short-term, medium-term, and also equity financing. In the video later that we're going to show you, you can see some of the projects that we've done on the direct financing. Financial institution, later on later slide, you will see we have more than 11 leasing companies, several banks. We are proud of our banks. Most of the CEOs of our banks are here. We also have a lot of banks in West Africa and based in Senegal. And the other business line is advisory and asset management, where we have the government to issue sukuk on the special economic zones, for example, and private equity funds. That the previous slides that my CEO has mentioned, we have a few funds that we have established. One of the advisory projects, which not in the video later, that we are proud of to share is on the sukuk that we have done for West Africa, for the government of Senegal, in local currency. That was done 2 years ago. You know, a lot of our member countries, the Islamic finance is still at infancy stage. I think one of the things that the government needs to look at also is on the capital market there. And ICD provide that kind of services. This is the sectoral distribution and geographical footprint for ICD. As you know, our target is on the financial institution access to market, and naturally, financing or finance have a big part of our portfolio. It's almost 50%, and the rest are on the real economic sector. The regional focus, of course, when we started, we are based in Saudi Arabia. The bank of financing in those regions, but we are reducing that to be more balanced. Africa, Sub-Sahara is getting more of our focus. This on our financial institution department. We started setting up the department in 2011, and you can see we have grown quite substantially. We have set up 2 years ago in, for example, in most of the CIS countries, we have our leasing companies. In Kazakhstan, for example, we are the biggest Islamic leasing company in the region. And we are not only investing in ourselves, but we have our partners from Korea, from Turkey, for example, that also joined us here. And we developed this relationship, and we're also getting new partners from non-traditional markets, for example, non-member countries that join us in these investments. We set up in Malaysia, we set up in Palestine, and some of these leasing companies have really made a difference. We have cases in one of our leasing company that these clients, for example, before they have access to our funding, they go into the loan sharks to get financing. And we're very proud on this one company because after this, because from our financing, they managed to get contracts from the big oil companies. So it shows that access to finance is very, very important, especially to those that doesn't have access. These are our growth in our advisory services. I think Sister Nida will cover it later in speech in the session. So this is what we have done. One of the, if you see the center slide on WIFA, for example, yesterday we had a workshop. This is a leasing company in Tunisia. And from our partnership with them, they are the biggest Islamic bank there. This is the funds. I think my CEO has covered this. We started with 450, now we have more than 600. This access to growth market from our region, my CEO also covered that. If you want to work with us, we are looking forward to work with you because you're our shareholder. These are the opportunities and network that we can provide. Most of our heads for our regions are here. They'll be in the booth later. If you need anything, please come and see us. Samir is there. Ida is here. Farid is there. And we like this kind of opportunities because if you want to work in your local countries, the banks here can provide that. We don't want to compete. We would like the cross-border investment because that's one of our key mandates. These are our 10 commercial banks that we have in our portfolio. Leasing is actually 11, not 9. And we're setting up almost one institution every year. I'm going to continue with a video presentation about our projects so you can relate more. But I just want to mention again that we are here to support you. You're our shareholder. Our team are here. We set up our marketing office, our representative office here. Brother Ibrahim is also here. He's heading the office. Anything you need, any queries you have, please come and talk to us. We'll be at the booth later. With that, thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed bin Abdul
the
Khalid.
Islamic Corporation for the
You are
Development
very
of the
welcome back to
Private
your seat.
Sector,
Ladies and gentlemen,
or
we'll be
ICD,
starting our first panel discussion today, brought to you by Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector.
Role in order to help IDB Group to really achieve its objectives and the purposes for which it's found. That is development. Now, without private sector, development will not be there.
Experience from other parts of the world have actually shown that when the private sector is given a bigger role in the economy, private sector tends to support positively the economies of these countries.
As a development institution, ICD takes a two-pronged approach to project financing in order to maximize the benefits to local economies. ICD delivers direct investment and financing for larger scale projects such as Al Farida in Jeddah, Felix Airways in Yemen, Rahima Fru's Globat in Bangladesh, and H&D Industries in Senegal, just to name a few. Complementing the direct investment approach, ICD also reaches many more local SMEs through the chain of channel financing. ICD invests in local funds, Islamic banks, and leasing companies, who then channel investment funds to SMEs in their respective markets.
In our business, we focus a lot on SMEs, and among other things we do, we created channels, which are financial institutions focus on supporting the SMEs. We do create these institutions, we support them technically and financially to make sure that they extend financing to the SMEs in these countries.
ICD has formed the Ijara Management Company, IMC, in order to achieve its goal of setting up 20 leasing companies in 5 years.
Through IMC, ICD has created an excellent vehicle to set up Islamic leasing companies in various countries at a much quicker pace, bringing international best practices in the market.
Since its inception, ICD has been active in over 40 countries, has helped develop over 270 projects, and has invested over $3 billion. It has made a significant impact around the world. In Azerbaijan, ICD channel funding partners Caspian International Investment Company and Ansar Leasing are financing and investing in local SMEs. In Baku, the Park Boulevard shopping mall, financed by ICD, has opened up shopping to tourists of all ages, with plans to expand in the near future. While in Bangladesh, building on the success of Rahima Fru's Globat, which exports batteries to over 50 countries, ICD's financing to the Abul Khair Steel project is expected to create over 3,000 direct and 100,000 indirect jobs, much needed in a country with over 40% unemployment. Metals are also in focus in Kazakhstan, with construction underway on Aluminium of Kazakhstan, a new factory set to begin producing aluminium window frames in 2015. At the same time, channel partners such as the Central Asia Renewable Energy Fund, based in Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan Ijara Company ramp up financing activities for local private sector entities.
Ijara companies are very important for the growth of SMEs in these countries because in most of the cases, this is the only window available for them for their financing needs.
Amid the majestic waters of the Indian Ocean, the Islamic Bank of Maldives is growing both its deposit base and local project funding activity. Nearby, the ICD-funded Horizon Fisheries has given a huge boost to the nation's fishing industry, which now accounts for 13% of GDP and is the second largest foreign currency earner. Meanwhile, in the Maghreb, the Islamic Bank of Mauritania is providing much-needed financing to local SMEs, which account for 95% of Mauritania's economy. SMEs are also the focus in Saudi Arabia, with the Saudi Small and Medium Enterprise Fund identifying promising local businesses, such as the highly popular Cabrito restaurant chain, and supporting their growth plans through equity investments. On the real estate front, ICD is financially involved in the Al Farida residential project and co-established Capitas Group International. Both entities are working to address the kingdom's housing shortage. Over in Senegal, Tamwil Africa is spearheading the expansion of Islamic banking throughout the region, while the Islamic Bank of Senegal channels funds to local SMEs in Dakar and beyond.
I think there is an increasing awareness of Islamic finance in our member countries, and there is definitely a real will and commitment of the central bank and of the authorities in each of our sub-Saharan member countries, to implement Islamic finance.
Heading north to Tunisia, the Sarost offshore drilling rig is taking on the challenge of ensuring marginal field reserves yield profit for stakeholders. Back in Central Asia, Uzbekistan's leading force credits its Murabaha agreement with ICD for its new stone crushing and asphalt projects, which it expects to triple revenues. Channel funding partner THIQAH Leasing Company has already financed several projects and plans to grow quickly in the market. And lastly, in Yemen, Felix Airways has facilitated intergovernorate business by improving connectivity across the country, while Sabah Islamic Bank allocates 70% of its financing portfolio to SMEs and aims to be one of Yemen's top 3 banks. ICD's investments have delivered significant developmental impact throughout the world. Looking to the future, ICD has ambitions to make an even greater impact as it continues to identify promising private sector opportunities across the IDB Group's member countries.
The future of Islamic finance, the future of IDB and the future of ICD is great in our countries.
We want ICD really to expand more and more.
Based on our track record, based on the support of the shareholders, I can say with confidence that ICD future is very bright.
Give a round of applause for impressive profile video. I'm sorry about my interruption in the early video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will start our first panel discussion today, brought to you by Islamic Cooperation for the Development of the Private Sector. And the title of the theme is Promoting Cross-Border Investment in IDBG member countries. And chairing for this session is Ms. Nida Riza, Director of Advisory Services in ICD. You are very welcome to on stage. And also joining Ms. Nida on stage are Mrs. Maureen Bajuri, CEO of Trust Bank, Mr. Nazim Abdurrahman, Group CE Pelaburan Mara Berhad, Mr. Azamat Abdurrahmanov, Vitamed Medical Center, Uzbekistan, and last but not least, Mr. Mahrus, Sharia Director, Corporate Secretary, PT Mandala Finance. Ms. Nida, the stage is yours.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't think so. Testing? Yeah. Assalamu alaikum And a very good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Salamat pagi, and thank you very much. I am Nida Raza, Director of Advisory and Asset Management, and I have the privilege to moderate this esteemed panel on the topic of CEO insights on ICD's activities in the member countries. So this session is designed to bring to you the unique experiences of the intervention activities that ICD has been able to provide in the various different countries, member countries. And specifically, we are going to address 4 different instances. With Trust Bank, it's the Islamic banking conversion. It's the first of its kind in Latin America and the Caribbean region. With Vitamed Medical Center, it's the financing for the purchase of medical equipment. Mara Group, ICD's partnership in setting up an Ijara company in Malaysia, and with PT Mandala here in Indonesia, the successful case where we extended line of financing to grow Islamic banking asset portfolio for this FI that has an Islamic window. In an effort not to steal their limelight and to give them the chance to speak themselves about their experiences, I will request each member to briefly, if I may please, introduce themselves, their institution, and how ICD helped them. And from there, we will deliberate a little bit and draw on some of the experiences and open the floor up in the end for questions and wrap up. So with that, I'll ask Maureen, please to talk about Trust Bank.
Good morning, everybody. It's a true privilege for me to be here today. So I'd like to say thank you to the ICD for inviting me. My name is Maureen Bajuri. I'm CEO of the Trust Bank. It's a small private-owned bank in Suriname, Latin America. We are now in the process of converting from a conventional bank into the Islamic bank. We will be the first Islamic bank in Suriname and also in the whole Caribbean and South American region. So early in 2015, we approached the ICD to help us to realize our new strategy, and that is supporting the SMEs. And I think that is the basis of the collaboration between ICD and Trust Bank, because we focus on the SMEs to bring development, not only for them, but ultimately for the whole community. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. My name is Nazim Rahman. I'm representing Pelaburan Mara Berhad, which is a company within Mara Group. By way of introduction, Mara is a leading socio-economic agency set up by the Act of Parliament in Malaysia. And PMB, Pelaburan Mara, is the investment arm undertaking activities to build financial services franchise in Malaysia. And our partnership with the ICD revolve around the setting up of an Islamic leasing company by way of acquisition of an Ijara company that was previously owned by Quid Finance House Capital, and is currently operating. Has been operating since 2013, and Alhamdulillah, by virtue of the business development, strong business development, governance framework, it has turned around from a loss-making entity to a profitable business in the first year of operation in partnership with the ICD. And we are now in the 3rd year, in 2016, the 3rd year. The 2nd year, we managed to achieve almost 4 million ringgit or $1 million of profit after the 2nd year of full operation. Thank you.
Thank you. That's excellent news. Mr. Abdurrahman. Sound. Can you? There's a button to press. The button.
Working. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdurrahman, and today I am representing here Vitamed Medical Project from Uzbekistan. First of all, I would like to thank IDB and organizer of this event on behalf of our company and on my own for the invitation and the best condition provided. I feel very honored to represent here Vitamed Medical Project. Vitamed Medical is a hospital project, is a new generation of medical treatment and diagnostic center in Tashkent city, meeting international standards for diagnostic and treatment and equipped with the unique, highly technological medical equipments. The center is equipped with the latest unique medical technology produced and installed mainly by the branded German companies. And today the medical center is providing can serve over 1,200 patients every day. And I should say that the project was realized thanks to the ICD support, and it's not the first, of course, our project. We have also plans to realize another project thanks to ICD. Thank you.
Thank you, Azmat. Mr. Mahrouz.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Puji syukur kehadirat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We praise thanks to God, as due to His blessings and God's grace we are able to gather here. Thank you very much to ICD Group. My name is Mahrouz from PT Mandala Multifinance. We operate in financing, and up to date we are still focusing on financing two-wheel vehicles. Our company was established since 1997, and up to date we own an office, around 200 offices. Alhamdulillah, we have partnered with ICD since 2008. First time we received financing facilities working with ICD amounting to $8 million, and in 2011 we received additional facilities amounting to $25 million, and furthermore in 2013 ICD provided a syndicate loan amounting to $45 million. We took advantage of the facilitation to finance the two-wheel vehicles, where the segment of the community, where the segment that we provided assistance is the mid-level and the low-level communities. So we are very grateful for the support of ICD. We also need to inform you that in 2008, before we partner with ICD, our Sharia or Islamic unit only have an asset of 220 billion. Alhamdulillah, in 2015, or by the end of 2015, our Islamic financing unit has reached 1.5 trillion. Alhamdulillah, once again, our highest appreciation to ICD, and we hope that this we will have continuous support, outreaching, and we can provide mutual benefit. Thank you very much. Peace, blessings and peace upon you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I just draw on each one of you and what you've said to try and draw out some of the specific experiences, unique experiences that you went through and felt in the respective countries that you've been with, and how we've been able to possibly assist you, and how in the future we can provide you some more assistance. In the case of Trust Bank, Maureen, if I may, just looking back, before you embarked on this journey of conversion, why did you choose Islamic banking? I mean, from a Latin American perspective, yes, you have a certain amount of Muslims in your country, but nowhere in the Latin American and the Caribbean region are there any Islamic banks, any Islamic leasing companies. There's none of that. So where did the conviction come from? Why Islamic banking?
Yes, thank you, Nida. Indeed, it is a major step that we've made, but we've thought it through and through, you know. And when we discussed our new strategy, we are really convinced that Islamic finance will help us. And what I mean by us is not only Trust Bank, but the whole community. Our strategy is, as I mentioned before, focuses on SMEs. And looking inward into the Trust Bank, we saw that we need the funding, we need the expertise and the knowledge, and I think that is where we found in ICD our strategic partner. And it's not only about converting into an Islamic bank, but we are really convinced that with that conversion, with being an Islamic bank, we can serve the SMEs. We have made a market assessment, and we saw a demand of SMEs for nearly 30% that are unserved or only partially served. So we wanted to reach to that segment of our community. And as I said, we are really convinced that with Islamic finance, we can help to develop that group.
Excellent. Great thought process. So just building on that a little bit, if I may, you know, you had the option of doing a window. We have assisted many banks in doing a window because they may want to initially take a smaller step and understand the products and how the operations work before they convert possibly to a full conversion, or they may just continue to do both. Why did Trust Bank decide that it wanted to do a full conversion in one go versus a window?
That was also our discussions internally and also with our regulator, the central bank, because NIDA, by converting to a full-fledged bank, we think we can reach our goal. You know, you can indeed open a window, but I think that by opening a window, you can't reach your whole strategy. Because, as I mentioned, our strategy is not only to provide Islamic finance, but to reach a greater group of our community and to bring development and growth for the SMEs. Great. So I think that by going to full-fledged, we can reach our goals.
So it's a conviction that you have?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. And then, you know, we know why we partnered with you, or we chose to partner with you in the Caribbean. Our strategies, you know, as mentioned by our CEO and again by Ahmed, is to try and build channels through which we can reach the Ummah within our member countries, and we know we would be using yourselves as a channel. Why did you choose ICD?
Nida, as I mentioned, to realize our ambitions, because it's not only converting to an Islamic bank and serve the local market. Right. We also want to be a regional player. Okay. Suriname is a country in South America, the only Dutch-speaking country in South America, but we are also member of the CARICOM, that is the Caribbean community. We are also member of UNASUR, that is the community of South American nations. So by providing Islamic finance, it will not only benefit Suriname, but also the Caribbean and the Latin American region. And if we want to realize that, we need a strong partner. We need a strong strategic partner to realize that. We want to also establish a financial hub in Suriname. So, as I said earlier, if you want to reach that, you need a strong strategic partner. And fortunately, ICD agreed on assisting us to reach that goal.
Fantastic. There you have it, the experience of a Latin American country, the furthest away from our home country, and the experience that they've had. Just moving on, if I may, to Nazim. As far as Mara is concerned, I mean, you're based in Malaysia. You've set up a leasing company together with ICD. How does Mara, or the leasing company within Mara, in Malaysia, it's such a competitive environment. How do you find that you have been able to compete in this very, very competitive and mature Islamic finance industry?
I think let me begin with some statistics, just to give some perspective on the scenario of the Islamic finance industry in Malaysia. If you look at the total assets for 2014 or 2015, the total Islamic finance assets, Islamic financing assets in Malaysia is about 94 billion US dollars, as against 282 billion dollars for the conventional financing assets. If you look at the market share of the Islamic finance assets in Malaysia, it's just about 20 to 30% of the total banking assets. By comparison, if you look at the countries like Saudi Arabia, the countries in the GCC, in Saudi Arabia, the Islamic banking assets constitute about more than 50% of the total banking assets. Similarly with other GCC countries like Bahrain and Qatar. So as far as Malaysia is concerned, there is still room to grow. Still a small percentage as compared to the overall total banking assets. So our venture into establishing a financing leasing company with the ICD is also to fulfill our developmental role of not just in to contribute to further development of Islamic finance, but also to assist in the development of the private sector, development of the SMEs in Malaysia. So if you look at our business objective, our focus is very much providing access to finance for we call it pre-bankable customers, those customers that we consider not yet eligible for financing from banking institutions. But we focus on these kind of customers to give them that quantum leap. Once they have the access to financing, they do the business, develop the track record, then they graduate and go for financing with banking institutions. So our focus, we're very focused in our business objective, and I think there is no competition in that sense. If you look at the overall Islamic finance sector in Malaysia.
So I assume that's the reason why you chose the leasing sector to intervene in for Mara, because you had the option, the entire option, when I assume when you were looking at the market as to where you want to go. So why choose leasing? This is the reason why you wanted to tap into those that are in the most need.
Yes, going back to our developmental agenda, apart from providing easy access to financing to the SMEs, we also look at our role as company that maybe easing the burden of capital expenditure on the part of the government, taking out the requirement for developmental expenses on the part of the government-linked agencies. We provide a long-term lease that can be financed through their operating expenses.
Sure.
So that's how we see our role, not just in developing the private sector, developing the SMEs, but also in assisting the government to ease the burden of allocating big amount for capital expenditure.
Great. In your introduction, you mentioned that you turned this around from a loss-making to a profit-making. Could you give us a little bit of your experience on how you were able to do that? That might assist in when ICD is working with other partners to set up Ijara management companies, etc. Just give us your experience of how you were able to turn it around in such a short space of time. It's commendable, highly commendable, and congratulations on that. How were you able to do so?
I think ICD plays a big part in that success. Of course, apart from the strong management that give or that provide the business development, especially in the context of Malaysia, the networking that we have with the government, government-related agencies, the networking that we have with the business and trade associations in Malaysia, I think that allows us to find business that is sustainable enough for us to finance. But apart from that, I think the most important part of the undertaking is that ICD provides the to get things right at the beginning when we set up the company. They provide us with the governance framework, the risk management framework, the reporting framework. All these are all set in place at the beginning when we rebuild the company. So that provide the sustainability that we require to sustain this business as a financing company. And along the way, throughout this 3 years period, the representation by the ICD on the board, the support given by the IMC, the Ijara Management Company, I think has assisted us tremendously in making sure that the governance is properly in place, the risk management is properly in place, so the company continue to be sustainable.
Great. Now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, if I may. Are there plans for Mara to expand? You know, you're plugged into the OIC through the IDB group, through ICD partnership. Are there plans for you to export this profitable, excellent model of yours, say to the CIS countries or elsewhere in Asia?
When we talk about CIS, Africa, I think it's quite far away from where we are at the moment. I don't think there is any plan in the near future. But of course, we'll continue to look at the emerging markets, especially the markets within ASEAN. There is ASEAN Economic Community in place, launched in 2015, that provides us a very big market of about 600 million people. So I think at the moment, at this stage, I think we prefer to look at building our franchise in the domestic market before venturing into overseas market, especially ASEAN.
Of course, makes sense. I think you echo most other corporates in Malaysia and financial institutions that want to expand. They tend to expand, we see at least, more in the ASEAN region than reaching out to maybe towards the CIS and Africa region at the moment. Okay, great. Thank you very much. If I may turn to Azmat. You spoke about the Vita Medical Center, and you mentioned that, you know, without the assistance of ICD, you wouldn't have been able to set up what you were able to set up. Can you give us a view on why you chose Sharia-compliant financing?
Of course, as every Muslim, an owner also wants to build his business based on the Sharia rules and Islamic financing. So today we try to use every opportunity in the country. We have it in the ways of the financings of the ICD, its financial lines provided via local banks, and by the THIQAH leasing, which is a subsidiary leasing company of the ICD. So we try to use the maximum opportunity of this Islamic financial modes. Have already signed 2 direct financing agreements with the ICD, and also try to realize our next projects and next small projects with the leasing company. So, as I said, the main reason is that the Muslim.
So what we understand is that you had, as a corporate, you had a requirement or preference for Sharia-compliant financing,
yes,
and you seek that, and you found it. Great. And what was your experience like in terms of working with us in understanding or getting the documentation, etc., operationally for release? Was it easy for you? Was there challenges you faced? How did we help you?
It was very different from other local banks because we have already many experience of working with different kind of financial institutions. I can say the first difference is the high professional staff of the ICD willing to always help supporting with any issues, any problems. So, as I said before, we have already realized 2 direct financing in Uzbekistan and were very successful projects, and this base has given me a reason that I can say it's very easy to, compared with the other financial institutions, cooperate with ICD and ICD staff.
Thank you. Could you also, we were speaking earlier, and you mentioned that this medical center was the first of its kind. The kind of technology it had did not exist in Uzbekistan at the time. What developmental impact has that had in the country in terms of being able to provide that kind of healthcare locally to the people that need it the most?
Our project is the kind because until this moment, due to the lack of the modern, up-to-date medical equipment in the country, many patients try to find the treatment in abroad.
Right.
So, as I said, it was in the presentation, the owner went to Medanta clinic for treatment of his mother. He saw there are many people from Uzbekistan who came for finding treatment in India. And while he's talking with Dr. Naresh Trihan, the founder of the Medanta clinic, he learned that about 200 to 150 people are every month coming to Medanta, but it's just only small part of the people who wanted to get treatment in India due to the lack of this kind of advanced medicine in the country. So in this case, the first his wish was to provide this access to the people, bringing all the best conditions, best medical services, best medical technology to the country. So the project was born by this idea.
Great. Thank you so much. That's been very useful and a great learning experience for us. And we hope to continue to partner with you with your expansion plans, inshallah.
Of course, we have next stage of development of our project, and for example, expanding the territory of the medical center, building 7-story, 9,000 square meter area in near future, and we would be very glad if ICD can approve us our next stage of project. Also, we would be very glad to continue our cooperation with ICD.
We look forward. Thank you very much. Mr. Maruz, if I may turn to you on PT Mandala's side. You did briefly explain to us that the first assistance was provided to you back in 2008, and since then we've consistently provided you further lines of finance and increased your Islamic finance portfolio as a total percentage of your entire portfolio, which includes conventional financing. Can you give us a view on the percentage of your Islamic versus your conventional portfolio, percentage-wise? Is it bigger? Is your Islamic financing portfolio larger than your conventional finance portfolio? Or what's the difference?
Thank you. Up to date, our portfolio for our financing is still larger. The conventional portfolio is still larger. So up to date, our Islamic financing has achieved 75% from the total portfolio of our financing company, and we hope